gets you closer to America's #1 spectator sport than inside NASCAR. Catch it Wednesdays at 9 here on Showtime. And stay tuned for an encore edition immediately following tonight's Showbox telecast. And Pat, this week the cast spoke extensively about that Dale Jr. Mark Martin scuffle after the race. And man, the NASCAR fans are certainly in support of the legend's son. Do you think MMA fans feel the same way about Ryan Couture's coming up tonight?
I'm sure the ones that are fans of his father, Randy Couture, are. But I tell you what, the NASCAR fans are pretty rabid.
Well said, Captain Milicic.
Some people call it MMA on 4 wheels with those bumps and crashes in the corners.
I love it.
Stephen Quadros has the unofficial scorecard. How do you have it after 2 rounds?
Well, round 2 was an ugly round, but Julia Budd did enough to score that one again. And De Randamie just has to start landing like that.
And on cue, De Randamie starting to deliver some strikes long range to Budd, who's now going for the leg, looking for the leg lock. Budd training with Lance Gibson at Gibson MMA.
She's got to get that foot underneath her armpit instead of on top of her arm to be able to go for an ankle lock, a heel hook.
Budd finished 3rd in this year's World No-Gi BJJ Championships. She's worked on her wrestling with members of the Canadian Olympic team, but it's De Randamie who is just drilling her now with lefts and rights, but Budd being stacked up now, and there's another straight right by De Randamie. Oh, an up kick from Budd.
Budd has a chance if she lets go of her guard for 1 second and grabs the ankles and tries to push over De Randamie, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
And again, De Randamie goes for the neck.
Oh, comes over on top. Nice.
De Randamie 2-1 with 1 win via former knockout. Her lone loss was via submission. She wants to show her mixed martial arts here by going for the submission, but hasn't really set it up properly throughout the fight.
Right. She's missed a few, but I tell you what I'm impressed with in this 3rd round, De Randamie, like all fighters from the Netherlands, are always trying to finish the fight and destroy their opponent. She's going for it. She's not holding back at all.
And I think one of the keys for her destroying and winning, and she's got to win it by a knockout in my opinion, is to stay on top and start unloading with punches and elbows.
And De Randamie showcasing some strength, picking up Budd. We saw Sarah Kaufman deliver a powerbomb slam in her title defense against Roxanne Modafferi. Of course, we are going to be speaking with Miesha Tate coming up right after this fight. She will challenge Marlis Kunin for the women's 135-pound title July 30th as De Randamie begins to deliver some more ground and pound on Budd. So De Randamie controlling this round with 2 minutes 49 seconds left in the fight.
Got to get her legs back. There she goes.
If Budd gets De Randamie on her back again, it'll be a moot point that De Randamie will win this round because there's nowhere close to being a 10-8 round so far.
Budd showcasing some raw strength and the double leg takedown into half guard.
There it is, and she can slow the pace down here and get out of the danger of the top game from De Randamie.
And I think this speaks to the mindset, as we mentioned at the beginning of the fight, Pat, where Budd, coming off a devastating knockout loss, I think just wants to get her time in, be very conservative, keep it simple, knowing what De Randamie is capable of. She just wants to grind out a win here and get back on the winning track. And you can't blame her for that.
No, she's getting back in the saddle here. And, you see fighters, George St. Pierre, after he got knocked out by Matt Serra, he was putting everybody on their back for quite a while. It took him a while to get out of that mode and get confidence back with his striking. And I think it's that way for almost every fighter.
Referee Hoisington calling for action.
Yeah, Budd back on top, not even worried about breaking loose or posturing up. She just wants to control this match. Now, as I said before, round 2 was an ugly round. This one ain't going to be pretty either, but the main thing is to get the win. Oh, what do we got, a triangle?
De Randamie transitioning here, shifting her hips momentarily, now back in the closed guard, 1 minute 20 seconds left in the fight.
Unfortunately, jiu-jitsu is not something you can just learn over 3 to 6 months. You've got to practice that for years and years and go high level all the time.
I remember reading the Gracie family, the first family of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, saying it takes really 10 years to get a black belt, although nowadays some people get their black belts via those matchbook offers. Less than a minute remaining in the fight.
But do you want to be a mediocre black belt or a great black belt?
Yeah, right.
I'm wearing a black belt. I'm fine. And there's referee Hoisington stepping in.
I like that. That's a good restart.
Yeah, this could give Randamine a chance to do what she needs to do. But Bud going right back to the playbook. Jumping knee by Randamine.
Go for broke. Somehow, I think these ladies might have a third match coming up.
Well, Bud has been able to execute the game plan, taking Randamine down, avoiding most of the punishment, although again, in that opening round, she got popped in that left eye and has not become a predicament for her as she will ride out this fight in top position. 5 seconds remaining, and it looks like Julia Budd could be cruising to a unanimous decision win. You have it for Bud all 3 rounds. How do you score the fight at the end of the tilt?
I think that last round, Randamine did a lot of damage, but then again, Bud controlled the fight for a longer time on the time clocks. So that round may go, I don't know about 30-27, but Bud won the fight.
29-28 for
yeah,
Bud?
29-28 is what I would judge it.
The third round was back and forth quite a bit. There's Randamine throwing a good combo, but missing a little bit. Throwing Bud to the ground, landing some good shots. She just basically shucked her off, and Bud lost her balance, and that started the onslaught by Randamine of just dropping tons of bombs on her. Here's the guillotine attempt. You know, you got to fight the takedown a little more, but she rolled through nicely with the choke, but she needed to get in the mount to really lock that up tight. Ended up in half guard and threw a few more elbows and did a decent job from there. Here's Randamine on top again. Nice up kick by Bud to the chops. Doesn't bother Randamine a whole lot. She stays after her.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges scored the bout 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Julia Budd.
Julia Budd picks up the unanimous decision win, 29-28. Julia, obviously coming off a 14-second knockout in your last fight. There are many ways a fighter can respond. Obviously, you wanted to just keep this fight close, take it to the ground, and just get that win back, right?
Yeah, that last fight. I mean, after that last fight, I wanted to get back in here as soon as possible and get a W. So I worked my wrestling a lot because I know that she's a good stand-up fighter. So I just want to thank my coach, Gibson MMA, and everybody back home in Port Moody.
What happened with your left eye? What was how did that come about?
I'm pretty sure it was a right hand. Yeah, she hit me with the right hand. I mean, she hits hard, so I wanted to wrestle her. I know that it's not the best to watch, but you know, you got to do what you got to do.
What was the biggest breakthrough in this camp with Lance Gibson? What was the thing you worked on most and the area that you feel you've improved upon since the last time we saw you?
My wrestling, for sure.
And that was on display tonight.
But also, this was a rematch with Germaine as well. I lost to her in a minute 30 in a Muay Thai fight, so this fight meant a lot to me.
All right, well, congratulations on your win, Julia.
Thank you, Morrow.
Let's give it up, Ken Washington, for your winner, Julia the Jewel Budd.